If you thought summer was over, get ready. Another record-setting high today.
Yeah, I was a boy that grew up in Minnesota, and I enjoyed there. I love the woods. I love the lakes. Well, when I was about 10 years old, maybe 11, my aunt pulled up to our house, and we joined her in the car, my mom and my younger sister, and of course my aunt had two girls, and we took a long trip to see Aunt May. Well, Aunt May lived far in the north, farther than we were in the north. She lived on Lake Superior.
Calling from the lake. Get you gloomy. Nothing I will take. Meet me by the river. Has to tread your waters. Get you gloomy. I won't forsake your daughter. My hands swell up, my smile runs out. It's been a while, it's been a drought, and I ain't done much. Then it's much too be fun. I try to reason with my body. There ain't no point in starving. I try to reason with the climate, but I am me and I ain't no giant. Meet me at the water, calling from the lake. Get you gloomy. Nothing I will take.
There was Lake Superior. It was far different than the other lakes I was used to. It was a vast body of water. You couldn't see anything in the distance except the water line. And there were a bunch of rocks. They told me it was really cold and I couldn't go swimming. I don't think I'd want to anyway, because it was just that kind of a place. Great big stones and rocks, and of course trees up to the edge, it seemed. There was one little story that Aunt May told us. She said that one day she was out for a walk and she came upon a moose. Well, the moose saw her, and she saw the moose, and they both went the opposite direction.
I'm like trying to sing more recently, and I'm like doing YouTube vocal warm-ups, and I feel so good after doing them.
You gotta share your vocal warm-ups with me. I want to know which ones you're using. I am Sam Hoshin, and I have a band called Hoshin.
Hey, I wanted to ask you about harmony singing, because when like writing these songs, and I knew it was going to be like a big part of the sound and the feel. What makes singing harmony unique?
Yeah, I love singing harmony. Like I like it just as much as singing lead. I think what's interesting about singing harmony is that you have to really listen, not only to like the other person, the lead's sort of tone and pitch, but also you're listening to the chords. One thing I really like to do when I'm harmonizing is like really pick up on those like tiny subtle things that people do with their voices and try to mimic that like with the exact timing so that it feels like one voice. And with that, like really trying to mimic the tone and like the breath work and the texture of the lead's voice, I think is really fun. And when you get that locked in, it just feels so good. Like it feels good while you're doing it, and it feels good to listen to it. But yeah, I love singing harmony. I think it's really unique in that you are multitasking and really just like matching the lead. I started taking lessons in 8th grade. I really started singing in high school, did jazz choir, and I had to audition a couple times to get in because I really wanted to learn how to sing so that I could be in jazz choir. So my first time, I didn't quite make it. Second time I got in, but that's sort of my origin is like with jazz music in jazz choir, learning weird jazz harmonies. Over the weekend, I just started listening to some old jazz stuff. I was really obsessed with jazz. I guess the theme of this conversation. But I was listening to some old Ella Fitzgerald stuff over the weekend and listening to her recording of Blue Skies, which is a super famous recording. She has like this super incredible scat that she does. That's the majority of the song. I was just listening to that again for the first time in a long time and just completely blown away by the way that she uses her voice. Her voice is so clear and crisp, and her pitch is like perfect, and she's just jumping around to all these different notes, and it's improvised, and she's bringing in some grit at times and kind of throwing in her Louis Armstrong impersonation. And I just think that everyone should listen to that recording because it's incredible. Like it is gymnastics, vocal gymnastics. I was also thinking about like what happens when you sing in a group. There's been studies done about what happens to our bodies when we sing together in a group, and singing harmony is part of that, right? Like you're always the second person or the third or fourth person in a group. And actually our bodies start releasing endorphins which is really crazy. Like it makes us feel good. It does something to us. It unites people into this new thing. So it's not just like two singers, there's something else happening.
Here you are.
Do we get lime?
Oh yeah.
I wonder where this fish came from. Did it swim in the ocean? It's hard to imagine the life it had. The waters it came from. It's hard to remember what I last ate, what I did yesterday. How did we find ourselves in this city? Not long ago, There was a lake here, and its creek stretched into wetlands called Bologna. Until most of it was drained, and now we eat fish in a triplex. All this concrete, it's easy to forget. We are not separate. We did not come from nature. We are nature.
We were staying the night with Aunt May. She was an aunt my mom and her sister hardly ever saw, so it was kind of a special visit. Anyway, they explained to me that if I needed to go to the bathroom during the night, I was not to go to the outhouse, but I was to use a chamber pot. Now, I'd never heard of a chamber pot before, but I sure figured it out, and it was kind of like a big cooking thing, and it had a cover on it. And if you had to go during the night, you'd take off the cover and you'd go and put the cover back on, and then somebody'd take care of it in the morning.